Jason Reitman's Saturday Night is currently in theaters, a movie based on the real-life events and anecdotes surrounding the 90 minutes before the first-ever episode of Saturday Night Live. This includes a striking phone call producer Lorne Michaels received from The Tonight Show's Johnny Carson, one that was quite threatening. However, Carson's actual feelings about SNL were quite different from those depicted in this new movie. While dodging NBC executives like David Tavaith, played by Willem Dafoe, who want to pull the plug before the first episode makes it to air, Lorne Michaels, Gabriel LaBelle, receives a call from Johnny Carson himself in Burbank, California. Voicing a lack of support, Carson even becomes threatening towards Michaels ahead of the Saturday Night movie's ending, who ultimately hangs up on the Tonight Show host to deal with the next crisis ahead of airtime. That said, Johnny Carson's true feelings about Saturday Night Live in real life were somewhat different. Saturday Night Live was created because of Johnny Carson's dispute with NBC. It was created as a solution. In actuality, Saturday Night was created and greenlit to solve an ongoing dispute between Carson and NBC. No longer wanting reruns of The Tonight Show to air on the weekends, Carson instead wanted to do his show 3 nights a week and have the reruns air on the remaining 2 days, allowing him to have more time off. As such, Saturday Night Live was created as a means to fill the newly opened weekend slot. Instead of losing the ad revenue to local stations, NBC decided to create its own programming for Saturday night, hence turning to Lorne Michaels and the creation of a new live variety show. This way, Carson could have his reruns on the weeknights as he wanted. As such, to suggest that Carson wanted Saturday Night Live to outright fail is far too simple and largely untrue. Johnny Carson talked to Lorne Michaels, but not the way Saturday Night showed it. The real story is pretty different. Betty White laughing with Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show. Per Entertainment Weekly, Carson did indeed meet with Lorne Michaels. However, it wasn't via a phone call just ahead of the show's premiere as is seen in Reitman's Saturday Night. Instead, Carson and Michaels reportedly met weeks prior, agreeing not to book guests at the same time. Additionally, it's been reported that Lorne repeatedly asked Carson to guest host on Saturday Night Live. While the king of late night never did end up hosting SNL, it's evident that Carson wasn't nearly as negative towards the show as the movie makes him out to be. That said, things did change over time as SNL established itself and gained popularity following its premiere. Was The Tonight Show host Johnny Carson openly hostile over SNL? Skeptical, but not threatening. Rachel Sennett as Rosie Schuster and Gabe LaBelle as Lorne Michaels in Saturday Night. Rather than being unsupportive and threatening before the show even aired, James Andrew Miller and Tom Shale's book Live from New York claims that Carson was simply skeptical of the show and whether it would be a success. However, he gradually grew openly appalled by some of its more outrageous gags. However, that was only after Saturday Night Live had been on the air for quite some time. The hostility ahead of the first episode going live looks to be nothing more than fiction for the sake of Saturday Night's overall narrative and added entertainment value.